next up is Be Ready.
Before we start, can everybody hear me okay? Sound good? Okay. So the tornadoes are something that greatly affects our area in the southeast United States. And over the last 6 weeks, Tennessee has been greatly impacted by the effect of numerous tornadic storms. And after going through the tornado in Cookville just a little over 6 weeks ago, I realized how little a lot of people prepared in advance for these types of events. I come from West Tennessee, where severe storms that turn into tornado watches and warnings are not uncommon. And being at home, I always had a plan. But in my apartment, I did not have a plan. And in the morning of March 3rd, I woke up to that tornado warning, and I was on a second floor apartment with no idea of what my safe place would be or how to go about trying to make arrangements to get down to a lower floor. There was not a safe room in our apartment complex to go to. And so we ended up, my roommates, discussing through text messages, we're all in our bathrooms, about where was our safe place and trying to figure that out in the middle of the storm. And that's where I became getting the idea of thinking of what type of project or product could be marketed to people so that situations where you're not in a house with a basement, you're in an apartment at a upper floor, or you move regularly and can't make the investment of putting a tornado room in your house, what can you have as extra protection? So the current items on the market are tornado shelters, both in ground and above ground, but those cost thousands of dollars and are not applicable to students that move from apartment to apartment or even people that move rental homes from year to year. And so I came up with the idea of the Safety Cubed, which is a backpack that has panels in it that will pop out, and you fold these panels around you to make a protective shield. The idea is that this protective shield will be formulated from high density foam covered in a Kevlar fabric on the outside and a high density duct cloth on the inside to keep the shield intact, and it has locking hinges. This is designed based off of the recommendations of the CDC that call for protecting yourself with blankets, pillows, and even mattresses, things to soften the blow. In one study of a 2011 tornado event in the southeastern United States, it was found that roughly 95% of tornado fatalities were resulted of injuries caused by trauma of debris. And so softening that blow of debris from somebody could save a life. And as Tennessee has seen, we've already had over 30 tornado-related fatalities in the last 6 weeks. The United States as a whole typically sees 80 fatalities in a season. And so knowing how much a community can be impacted by a tornado-related fatality, the need to be able to protect oneself during a tornado event is a heightened awareness. And one tornado-related death is one tornado-related death too many in my eyes.
Hey,
and so,
Rachel, we lost your audio for the last 15 seconds or so.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. So about 15 seconds was lost that I need to back up on. Hello, am I still connected? Good, okay. So to back up, the tornado-related fatalities in Tennessee have already exceeded 30, and the national average in a tornado season is typically 80. And I personally think that any tornado-related fatality is one tornado-related fatality too many. And seeing how big of an impact this can have on a community, on March 3rd, both Putnam County.
All right, thank you so much. Leanne, if you'd like to start us off with the Q&A.
Sure. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for your presentation. Wanted to just quickly ask, simply because this is a product that has to deal with a severe weather event, and there will be all kinds of questions regarding things that are protective. Have you thought through any of the testing for a product like this? I'm sure it could be quite costly depending on the materials that you use. I didn't see a lot in your presentation regarding the testing that you anticipated for this product.
Yes, ma'am. The testing is the predominant process for testing a product like this in the U.S. is through the Wind Institute, Research Institute in Texas. They have a wind tunnel designed to launch debris in the state that a debris might be launched in a severe weather event at objects, and they can use that results to be qualifying data to determine if a product is able to withstand those types of impacts. And so when this product is fully developed, that idea would be tested, the prototype would be tested in the wind tunnel to make sure that that design is going to provide the defense against the debris that's expected from material construction.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks. So my question is about just alternatives. So if the CDC is saying use mattresses and blankets, which are readily available, how are you overcoming the marketing, communication, and messages that your product is with foam is better than a blanket or a mattress?
I think when we look at it, a blanket, you're going to have a lot of layers of blankets to be able to block from a forceful impact. And then the idea of the mattress, while that would probably give more protection, it's not easy to be able to lift up your mattress and get it into your safe spot and get it into your bathroom, wherever that might be, right at the moment that a tornado warning has been issued for your area. I think in the issue of in Putnam County, there was as little as like 45 seconds of notice, so you wouldn't be able to move the mattress. With this kind of product, you could already have it stored in your safe space. Since it's a backpack style, you would sit down with the backpack to your back and fold the panels around you and snap them into place. And so that way it would be quick, it would be easy, and it would already be able to be set up. The education side would be coupled with the marketing, because a lot of people don't even realize the CDC recommendations. Some people know about grabbing a pillow, but that wasn't information that was really marketed heavily until I started doing the research for what other alternatives were out there. Thank you.
Hi, Rachel. So is this a one-person backpack? The capacity, does that protect one person, or would a family of 4 need 4 of these? And could a small child do this alone, or how do you see that working out?
The current design that I have to present is designed to be a one-person unit. I can see how this would be very applicable to expand it to a multi-person unit. I would think if your child is at least of school age, they would have the motor skills to be able to lock the hinges into place. It would be kind of like a sliding deadbolt that we see on kind of hotel doors if they have the slide on them, which is how I envision the locking hinges working in this product. If you had a small child, considering that the design is set to build around you when you're in the crouched position, you would have room on your lap to be able to hold an infant child inside the cube with you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just would like to know, what does it take to build one of these? How long does it take? How do you source the material? How do you do so at scale? Really on the production side of it, your cost, and then, what's your go-to market strategy in terms of reaching out in rural areas and places that are really affected by tornadoes?
For manufacturing, I envision this being a very assembly line process. Kevlar fabric, duct cloth, and high-density foams are already products that are rapidly manufactured and supplied to manufacturing organizations. And they would go through the assembly line process. The panels would already be connected and folding up into the backpack when it's sent out and shipping. So the cost of raw materials is looking at about $40 to $50 from what I can see on my end online. I know that those numbers will greatly decrease as we look at the scale of buying hundreds of panels of foam to be cut into this, maybe even setting up the process that the foam can be pressed out on site in the manufacturing process. The marketing strategy that I would hope for would be going through, starting with local law enforcement and local government agencies in those areas. For my hometown of Benton County, we've recently started rolling out the Idaho system, and our local environment is really pushing that information. So getting this type of product to people and source recognitions, whether that be law enforcement, emergency situations, emergency agencies, and government agencies, those people could then be can form their own community. This is a product you can buy. It's cheap. It's on shelf. You can keep it in a safe spot. You can move it when you go. You can have it when in the room. All you go through and safety awareness and the marketing of the product at once.
Rachel, I'm sorry, just one more quick question. You kind of broke up there, but how long does it take to make one pack?
I have not been able to manufacture one at this stage of the design, but I would anticipate in a manufacturing environment, you would be able to roll out multiple packs within a day.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a quick question about the selection of the material. I'm curious about what type of research went into selecting that material. What led you to picking the duck cloth fabric and the Kevlar fabric?
Time.
Well, thank you for your question. I'm out of time to answer that.
All right, thank you. Be ready.